Good morning to you, my friends. Hope everything is well in your house today. I'm Dan Gresham. This is the At Home Update. First time catching it. I can understand you're here to find out what's happening with the hurricane. But this is something we do every weekday here on the KFDM Facebook page. We live stream from my house. I am Dan Gresham, and this is my house. And we just come to you and we talk about what's happening. It is not a newscast. It's much more of a casual, observational platform that we can talk about things that are happening in our community. And hopefully we have created our own community here on Facebook that you can exchange information with people that are posting up just like you. So if you have a thought, a question, a comment, you want to say good morning, you want to tell me where you're watching from. I love the fact that we get, situations like this. You get people from all over the country. For example, we have Catherine Stanfield, who's watching in Denver this morning, missing the heck out of Texas. So we miss you, Catherine. We wish you were back here as well, but we're glad that you can watch us this morning. And we have people, because of the internet and the reach of the internet, that can actually stay in touch with what was home or what is still home, but now maybe you've moved off. So I don't have a lot of time this morning. I'm in a kind of a bind. I've got other things that I've got to go do, but I do want to at least address the, if you will, the elephant in the room, which is the weather. And a lot of folks are, well, we've already got rain this morning. What does this mean? What it means is, as far as I'm concerned, as somebody who's been through this so many times for so many years, it's never over until it's over. I mean, be smart enough to know you always have to watch this. But Greg and Dana and Chad are feeling fairly confident at this point that the track of this storm is going to be to the east of southeast Texas, to the east of Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, east of the Texas border and into Louisiana. And that said, I think Greg would also agree with me that doesn't mean, because that's the way it looks at this point, that you can say, okay, I'm done with this. I don't have to worry about it anymore. It means that, things at this point look like that's where it's going. But you can, and I will take you to our Facebook page where I can assure you there are even closer pictures that we can see of the example of what it looks like right now and the way it's tracking. And again, at this point, it is still tracking off. Whoops, I just hit the wrong button. It is still tracking off to the north, all right, and maybe even a little northwest. But there is an expected turn that should take place within the next 12 to 24 hours, according to the meteorologist, that would send this on a path, again, that would be into Louisiana. Let me also show you the other maps that they have. Now, these are the warnings that have been posted. You'll see there is a tropical storm warning that is posted from Galveston all the way through Sabine Pass. Part of Sabine Lake, though, is in a hurricane warning. All right. And so the lighter pink is a hurricane warning until 7 a.m. Experience should dictate and tell you that these change. The further out you are, the broader the cone of uncertainty, the closer you are to the origin of the storm, the smaller the cone. But even in the smallest, you're still talking, as I understand it, 50 miles, the width. It's in the middle, so that would be 25 miles on either side. So that movement, if it goes one direction or the other, has effect on which direction it goes. So we'll really start to know if this thing doesn't, if it doesn't turn, if the high doesn't slide off, if this influence from the front that's moving, there are a lot of things at play here. But what I do want to point out this morning that I think everybody seems to be in consensus on is the fact that there's no way this storm is going to be a Category 4, which there was talk of that at one time. It's currently a Category 2. And it'll be lucky to make it to 115 mile per hour winds, which would be a Category 3. But then it gets in some cooler waters as it gets closer. Some wind shear comes into play. Drier air comes into play, according to the meteorologist. So what that equates to is a weaker storm. So we're not going to see anything coming on shore wherever it makes landfall at Category 4. At this, or even a 3. And now they're really talking about a weak category 2. I want to address one other thing. Somebody is asking this morning, and I think it's a valid question. Should we leave or should we stay? And I think that's a good question. But at this point, I would think that you stay. And again, for a couple of reasons. All indications at this point are looking like it's going to be a Louisiana landfall. And secondly, it doesn't look like it's going to be, at this point anyway, a catastrophic hurricane. Many of us have been through Category 1 storms. And they didn't look a whole lot different than a tropical storm. But we've also had tropical storms that dump so much rain, you wish they were a hurricane almost, just because they would move on out. The case for this one, though, is from all indications from the meteorologists. And again, I'm not making claims that this is not me. I'm just passing along observations that I'm reading, seeing, and talking to meteorologists. The suggestion being that this should be, for one thing, fairly weak, and the other, it will move fairly fast. This will not be something that will come and stall and sit and, get 25, 30, 40 inches of rain, which is, that's a positive, right, that we can take away from this. So what I am saying to you this morning, though, is keep an eye on this. Just know, again, you have storms where it's like, at this point, you can say it's going here and it shifts this direction or it shifts back the other direction. So that until, it's almost on land, I'm just saying it'd be smart to pay attention. Now, the rain totals that the meteorologists are talking about, you can find, again, by going to our Facebook page. And when you see these, you're going to find there's Chad's update. He will talk about where landfall is estimated, what's going on. Again, we're talking about a Category 2. There's Dana Melanson posting up as well. And then you can go in and you can also find the discussions. And most of the time here on the Facebook channel, you will also see Greg and Chad doing just what I'm doing, a live stream or an update with a Q&A, maybe question and answer about what's going on. So there are no evacuation notices that I'm aware of that have been issued for this storm. And I just came from the television station. So again, I don't know. If anything, it's to my knowledge, nothing has changed. The best way to stay on top of that would be to go to kfdm.com, because as soon as that were to happen, it would be posted. You would see a banner. But I would not expect that to happen, again, because of this storm. Now, if you live in a low-lying area and you're anxious or you're already concerned about any rain at all, then maybe you need to, take some action. But otherwise, I think what you need to do, what we all probably need to do, is that we just need to remain calm and pay attention and follow what's going on, right? And if you're in Lake Charles, again, my thoughts go out to you. You've got debris everywhere. You've got tarps on your roof. So it is an issue. Someone asking, Shine Sky saying, I would think that it would flood like it usually does with heavy rain, maybe a bit more, but that's all. You're right, that is a guess. And Cheyenne is probably not a very good guess because, again, all the information that we're getting from the technology suggests that this probably wouldn't be a storm that's going to produce the kind of rain that we saw in the past. Again, all I can say is it ain't over till it's over. And when it's this close and the window includes, and the cone includes Southeast Texas, and again, let me show you this, that it does include just a sliver of Southeast Texas, you have to continue watching. Doesn't mean it's coming at you, doesn't mean it's going to happen. But what it does mean is there is a cone of uncertainty and we're inside of it. So pay attention to what Dana Melanson is saying. Pay attention to what Greg Bostwick is saying. Pay attention to what Chad Sandwell is saying. These guys are going to stay on top of it. They've been doing it for years. There's nobody in Southeast Texas that probably knows our weather. I can't think of anybody I would even hazard to put in the same category as Greg. I heard Greg say yesterday, and I'm sure that it's true. I wish I hadn't said it. I said it after him, that, for all intent and purposes, the hurricane season's over. Well, now we know that's not true. The last hurricane winds to come through Southeast Texas, if I remember Greg right, were 150 years ago this time of year. I think it was October the 12th. It just doesn't normally happen with all the conditions that we've seen. But again, it's 2020. Anything can happen. in 2020. All right, I've got to run. I know you have things to do. Don't forget, noon today, Dana will be doing an update on KFDM, but he will be posting updates every hour. Anytime the coordinates change, they will post them on KFDM and the KFDM Facebook page. Broadcast times, again, you know them, noon, 5, 5:36, 9, 10. But that doesn't mean if something warrants it, obviously we'll break in anytime to give you the information. A reminder too, you can follow us a variety of different ways here on the Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube. We'll have it all covered for you. Just again, the best thing that you can do at this point is pay attention to what's going on. Get all the latest information, right? And we promise we'll do our best to provide it to you. All right, go out and make it a terrific day. We'll talk again soon. Until then, stay safe.